Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron, and welcome back today to another video. It is the match reaction. I'm not even going to call it instant because it is an instant. The match reaction to Manchester United 2, Everton 0 at Old Trafford on Saturday afternoon. A really disappointing performance by Everton, a really disappointing result in a game that we couldn't really have afforded to lose in that manner. Now, obviously, granted, away at Manchester United, it was always going to be a difficult game. We notoriously struggle at Old Trafford. I know I've had a couple of draws there in the last couple of seasons, but, I think I'd seen a stat before the game to say that we'd won once in 30 years there, something like that, or once in 30 games, and it was that Brian Oviedo winner, and that was 10 years ago. So, I don't think any of us were under the illusion that we were going to go to Old Trafford and we were going to put 4 or 5 past them and absolutely blow through them and beat them comfortably. However, I did expect a little bit more than what we've seen. I expected a bit of fight. I expected a bit of effort. Some people would argue that and say that the fight and the effort was there. We were just beaten by a much better team. And look, don't get me wrong, I think there's absolutely no doubting that Manchester United are a much better side than Everton at the moment. Manchester United have got much better players than what Everton have got at the moment as well. That was absolutely clear to see. There was a very clear, sort of, I suppose, difference in quality between the two sides, and you could also, say that because of that, that was the reason why the game panned out in the way that it did, as opposed to a lack of effort. But I just felt like, barring that opening 15-20 minutes where we were okay, I thought for the rest of the game we were absolutely horrendous. I think tactically Sean Dyche got it wrong, and that isn't something I've said many times since he has become the Everton manager, and not something that I've felt the need to say many times either. So I don't think this is a big, exaggerated thing, because, as I said, for the majority of the games that Sean Dyche has managed as the Everton manager, he's got them very right. But I did feel like he got this one wrong. I thought the high line was silly, considering the two centre-backs we've got playing are James Tarkowski and Michael Keane, neither of which have any pace whatsoever, and they're coming up against Marcus Rashford, who not only is quick, and quick on the turn, but also is arguably the most informed player in the Premier League at the moment. He's been absolutely on fire recently, and within that opening 35 minutes, Manchester United could have been 4-5-6-0 up, and if it wasn't for Jordan Pickford, this game would have been completely away from Everton, within the opening 35 minutes, and as I said, it would have been an absolute embarrassment. I still feel, even going into the second half, where we were a little bit better, and I think we secured things up a little bit. Even at that point, I still think that there wasn't an Everton player on the pitch that could have really held their head high coming out of that game, other than Jordan Pickford, who, as I said, without him, it would have been an absolute landslide. And that first 45 minutes was one of the worst I've witnessed as an Evertonian. And I said that as an Evertonian recently, and I said that on Twitter, and a lot of people sort of jumped to it, I think, because they felt I was having a go at Sean Dyche, or, well, you clearly didn't watch Lampard, or it wasn't that bad, or this, that and the other. It was. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade here. Let's not try and polish a shite. It was absolutely horrendous, that first 45 minutes for the most part. The chances we conceded, Jordan Pickford made every single type of save he could make, whether it be with his feet, whether it be with his hands, whether it be with his head, whether it be with his body, made every type of save. Wan-Bissaka missed an absolute sitter from 5 yards out. Marcus Rashford had a couple of opportunities that on another day you would have, you'd have put your house on him scoring. Other Manchester United players had chances that they missed, and Everton had one massive chance that I do want to talk about, because I think it's important that we do talk about this. But other than that, it was all Manchester United, and it wasn't just all Manchester United in the sense of the possession, or they controlled the game, or they looked the more likely to score. I think they had something like 17 shots, 16 shots at goal in the first half, which is just absolutely horrendous, and just shows how badly Everton was set up. And it is a criticism of Sean Dyche. I'm not sitting here saying he's awful, sack him. It's not right. But when you concede that many shots in one half of football, the manager has to take responsibility. And whilst I understand there is a massive difference in quality between the two sides. There's a massive difference in quality between the two sides. The manager still has to take responsibility for that. The fact that, we conceded so many opportunities because of the high line, because we constantly had the ball played over the top and somebody ran onto it in a Manchester United shirt, and we relied on Jordan Pickford to stand strong and to make that save. So I do think that falls on the manager. Everton did have an opportunity ourselves, which was absolutely golden, and it was, Ellis Sims, who, for me, look, I understand he's a young lad. I understand he's, massively inexperienced when it comes to Premier League football. I understand this was only his, third, fourth, fifth Premier League appearance or whatever it may be, second Premier League start, obviously, after the Merseyside derby. I get all of that. I understand and I appreciate all of that. However, I said this before the game on the preview. We've done a little live scene preview, and I said this, and I'll say it again now. It's one thing coming off the bench against Chelsea with 15 minutes to go, with no real pressure on you, no real expectation, and then grabbing the equaliser in the way that he did. Massive moment, magical, unbelievable, absolutely amazing moment for him. Yeah, sorry about that. It's one thing, coming on with 15 minutes to go at Stamford Bridge, and having absolutely no expectation on you whatsoever, and grabbing an equaliser, unbelievable, naming the lights, it's amazing. It's another thing having to lead the line against Manchester United at Old Trafford and having the pressure on you that if a chance like that falls to you, you've got to be ready to take it. And, look, I'm not sitting here saying, get him off the team, he's awful, he should never play again, this, that and the other, but I also don't think we should be sitting here saying, oh, well, he's only young or he's only inexperienced, so we'll let him off with that one. He's got to do better with that chance. It's as simple as that. And we didn't have any other chances in that game. And even if we weren't to have played that badly, and even if we weren't to have conceded that many opportunities or lost that game in that way, even if that game would have ended 0-0 and Everton had been brilliant, we were never going to have many chances in that game. So when you get a chance like that, you simply have to take it. And he's got to do better. He simply has to do better from there for me, and he doesn't. And, obviously that chance goes away, and then at that point, we never had anything, did we really, in the game? We never had anything, and, we got what was coming to us. McTominay scores with 10 minutes to go in the first half. Again, really defensively poor goal to concede, and as soon as it went 1-0, it was then a case of, can we smash and grab? Can we go and get an equaliser? Can we get back into this game? Comes out in the second half. The second half was better. I thought we were tighter. I thought Dice did change it. He made it a little bit more tied the knot a little bit, and we weren't as easy to get at. We weren't as easy to break down. We had a spell of 15-20 minutes where we were probably the team that looked more likely to score, but still not having opportunities, still not particularly creating chances, still not doing an awful lot with the ball. And then obviously, the second goal comes. Seamus Coleman completely makes a mistake. It falls to Marcus Rashford. He puts it across, and obviously Anthony Martial scores, because why wouldn't Anthony Martial score? He always scores against Everton. As soon as he come on, you knew it was going to be 2-0 anyway, because he constantly scores against Everton. But yeah, again, disappointing, because even though we conceded so many chances in the game, and even though without Jordan Pickford it would have been a complete landslide, the goals we did concede were avoidable goals. The second one comes from an individual mistake, and the first one, okay, is a good bit of play by Manchester United, but still is really poor marking. Amadou Onana, I thought, was atrocious, absolutely atrocious in this game. He completely left McTominay to just run past him. But as I said, I thought everybody was poor. I thought Ellis Sims didn't really have much of an impact, and okay, always going to be difficult, and he wasn't given many opportunities, but that was the chance he needed to take, and he couldn't. Thought Damari Gray was absent, Iwobi absent, Dwight McNeil absent. I thought the whole midfield were poor. We massively missed Abdoulaye Doucouré. Defence struggled massively, obviously playing that high line. I thought Ben Godfrey was atrocious at left back. I thought Seamus was poor. As I said, other than Jordan Pickford, I thought everybody else was below par. And when you're below par against a team like Manchester United away from home, you're going to lose quite convincingly. But I said it on Twitter, and I'll say it again, regardless of the manager, regardless of the playing staff, Everton Football Club have got that type of performance in them against the top six side away from home. I can't even count on both hands how many times I've witnessed us go to sides like that, regardless of the situation, whether we be in chasing European football, whether we be in, near the relegation zone, massively needing to win, or whether we just be in mid-table with nothing to play for. I can't count on both hands how many times Everton have had those games where we go away to a team that are better than us, and the game pans out exactly like you would have expected before it. And don't get me wrong, we've had games the opposite, where we've gone to sides that you won't think we'll get anything from, and we've got something out of, like Man City this season, Chelsea this season, etc. But we've also had a lot of them where we've gone to the teams like Manchester United away, and we've just absolutely capitulated and been beaten from pillar to post from start to finish. And this was one of them, but we put it behind us. We go again. Fulham now next week is an absolute must-win. Fulham have been beaten again this weekend, so next week is an absolute must-win. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, there's now a lot of pressure on that game because of this result, and we need to see a reaction, and I'm sure that we will, because it's not often Sean Dyche gets it wrong, but I thought he got it wrong the other day. But there you go. Sorry this one's late. I've had a mad Easter weekend with families and running around seeing various different families and looking after the baby, etc, etc. So yeah, I apologise. Player ratings will be up at some point today, and then we're going to try and do the live game review tomorrow as well. So big thank you all for watching. Please leave a like if you have enjoyed it, subscribe if you aren't new, and we'll see you later.